The Guest at the Door, a midnight horror. Ever feel like you're being watched? What if the thing watching you wants in? Prepare to question everything you thought you knew about the shadows in this terrifying tale. Elliot, seeking a fresh start, unknowingly stepped into a nightmare when he moved into the old house on the edge of town. The townsfolk, tight-lipped and wary, seemed to share a dark secret about the place. Their averted gazes and hushed tones spoke volumes. One cryptic warning echoed in his mind, delivered by a weathered old man: never open the door after midnight. He dismissed it as folklore, a quaint superstition of a forgotten town, but the house had other plans. At precisely 3 a.m., a soft, deliberate knock echoed through the silent house. Knock, knock, knock. The sound was subtle, yet it pierced the stillness like a shard of ice. Elliot bolted upright, his heart hammering against his ribs. He lay frozen, every muscle tense, straining to hear any further sound. The knocking had emanated from the front door, a silent invitation to something unknown. He crept to the door, peering through the peephole. The porch was shrouded in darkness, utterly empty. A wave of relief washed over him, quickly followed by a prickling unease. The following night, at the same unholy hour of 3 a.m., the knocking returned. This time, 3 slow, deliberate taps resonated through the house. Tap, tap, tap. Elliot's nerves were stretched to their breaking point. He moved with the stealth of a predator, navigating the darkness towards the front door. The air grew heavy, charged with an unseen energy. His hand trembled as he peered through the peephole once more. The porch remained deserted, bathed in the eerie glow of the moon. "It's just my mind," he muttered, trying to rationalize the growing dread. But as he turned away, a more forceful knock reverberated through the house. Knock, knock, knock. The sound was louder, more insistent, laced with an undeniable sense of urgency. He spun back, pressing his face against the peephole. Still nothing. A chilling premonition settled deep within his bones, a sense of impending doom he couldn't shake. He secured the door with every lock he could find, retreating to his bed. Sleep offered no escape, only a restless torment haunted by the chilling knocks. By 2:59 a.m. on the third night, Elliot was a prisoner of his own fear, wide awake and staring into the darkness. He knew, with a certainty that chilled him to the core, that the knocking would return. 3 a.m. arrived with the inevitability of a nightmare. Knock, knock, knock. The sound was closer, more intimate, as if the unseen visitor was just inches away. Swallowing his fear, he armed himself with a flashlight and approached the door. He took a shaky breath, unlocked the door, and flung it open with desperate resolve. The porch was empty, yet the air crackled with an unnatural energy. But then his gaze fell downwards. A single wet footprint marred the doorstep, and it was facing inside the house. Elliot's sanity began to unravel. He spent the next day consumed by the house's history, desperately seeking answers. But the records were non-existent, as if the house had materialized from thin air. That night, armed with a flashlight and a kitchen knife, he stood guard. He would confront the entity, ready to defend himself against the unseen terror. 3 a.m. The house seemed to breathe with a malevolent presence. The air was thick, suffocating, and the shadows danced with a life of their own. Knock, knock, knock! The sound was inside the house. Elliot's blood turned to liquid ice. He turned towards his bedroom door, the source of the chilling knocks now emanating from within his closet. His breath hitched in his throat as he approached, his grip tightening on the knife. The knocking was right on the other side of the door, a terrifying invitation to the unknown. With a trembling hand, he reached out and flung the closet door open. Nothing, only an abyss of darkness. Then, a frigid breath brushed against his ear. A voice, ancient and rasping, whispered 2 chilling words. "Let me in." The closet door slammed shut with violent force. Elliot fled, abandoning the house and his possessions. He didn't stop running until he reached the neighbor's house, his words tumbling out in a frantic jumble. The old man, his eyes filled with a knowing dread, simply sighed and muttered, "You opened the door, didn't you?" Elliot never returned. He hired movers to retrieve his belongings, hoping to sever all ties with the cursed house. But they found nothing. The house was empty, devoid of furniture, clothes, any trace of human habitation. And the front door? Gone. replaced by a blank, seamless wall. Elliot escaped to a new city, a new apartment, seeking refuge from the horror. But the knocking followed him, an inescapable curse. Every night, knock, knock, knock. The end? Or just the beginning of your nightmare? Don't let the darkness win. Share this tale with your friends and let them know they're not alone in their fears. Subscribe for more chilling stories and leave a comment below if you've ever experienced something unexplainable. Sweet dreams, or should I say, terrifying nightmares.